Hi, this is Dan Kofall for your NORAM Asset Management Market Update, Friday, July 30th, 2010. As you can tell, I'm sitting in for my good friend Danny Stewart. Danny is taking a well-deserved few days off, so he's asked me to sit in. Totally unprepared for this. However, today my comments are less about where the market is and more about where we're headed as a nation. I think we're getting close to the point in time that we as investors must decide to take the gloves off. Certainly the government, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve have taken the gloves off against us. They're changing the rules in the middle of the game. They're making it more difficult for us to conduct business. They're making it more difficult for us to plan our futures. They're just making it more difficult all the way around. I think we need to take Chairman Bernanke at his word when he said that the system is unusually uncertain without further stimulus. I think you'll see a stimulus bill coming up in the very near future. GDP was down today. If you risk adjust GDP and make other adjustments like I do, you had a growth of a negative 1.5% in GDP, not a positive 2.4%. So I'm still looking at negative growths, real growths in GDP. And folks, we need to really stop taking the government's numbers verbatim and assuming that they're correct. Make some adjustments to those numbers. At the very least, if not, find a credible source that you like that will allow you to use better numbers than you're getting from the government. I think we need to take not only Chairman Bernanke at his word, but we need to take President Obama at his word. Just a couple comments from his recent speech. He said, "Don't bet against the American worker." He said to cheers at the General Motors plant. GM is on the move. The U.S. auto industry is on the move. Folks, they're on the move because they have $65 billion of your equity. They were relieved of all of their debt. They were relieved of all of their surplus capacity, all of their old production. They don't have much left. But it's like United Airlines competing with American Airlines. It's like Ford competing with General Motors. Ford wasn't bailed out. General Motors was. American Airlines wasn't bailed out. United Airlines was. I see no great pride in the fact that General Motors has just now barely turned a profit since it has no debt and no surplus capacity. I find nothing in that. 9.5% unemployment. Unemployment is exceptionally larger than 9.5%. You can find many studies, including the government's own surveys, that show it closer to 16 or 17%. The president has said we have a long way to go, but we're beginning to see some of these tough decisions pay off. I'd like to know what he's talking about. We, the American taxpayers, funded General Motors. We funded Chrysler. We turned Chrysler over to Fiat. We stripped General Motors of all their debt. I have yet to see where this pays off for the American worker. If they've shut down plants they don't need and they laid off people that they don't need, the key to this recovery is entirely in jobs. We are not creating private sector jobs. There's nothing the government is doing now to help create private sector jobs. Private sector jobs are the core for the recovery in real estate. They're the core for the recovery in the economy. Economies do not rebound without jobs. The idea of a jobless recovery is a fantasy. It is some marketing person, some Keynesian economist's idea of a practical joke. If your neighbors are unemployed and you're unemployed, is there a recovery? Well, it's a jobless recovery. Well, not for you or your neighbors. Some things make no sense, folks. Danny gives me the luxury of sitting in for him every now and then to make a few social comments, and that's what I'm doing today. Danny will be back on Tuesday, and he'll continue to give you the finest in market updates. I might have a few more comments available for you on Monday. Great to see you. Have a great weekend, folks.